a concrete bridge and not a wooden bridge. But you had resources at that time for a wooden bridge. So you have to decide whether you're going to wait until you have resources for a concrete bridge, then develop the housing, or you do things incrementally. And most developing countries around the world go towards the option of incremental development. So yes, those considerations has been taken on board, and I want to assure you, I don't know if you were here, that the access bridge will be completed. The tender was opened on yesterday. The tender was opened yesterday, and I even saw one newspaper on the front page said that engineers estimate 33% more than bid. But what they didn't tell you was that that was the lowest bid price. You had contractors who bid who were 20% above the engineer estimate, but they didn't mention that. Maybe, I don't know, the evenness of journalism sometimes today leaves a lot to be desired. But I will not get into that. Our job, our responsibility is to bring service to you, and I want to assure you, as long as we have the strength, we were going to do this for you. Alright, so the access road will be done. The bridge, sorry. How long is the duration we have in that contract?
3 months.
3 months. So the contract duration for the access bridge is 3 months. Let me say to you, there will be some amount of inconvenience, like any other bridge you're doing. Traffic would have to be redirected in one way, a restriction. So you'll have some late night working. So persons living around the bridge, you'll have to bear up with us. Let us hope we can complete it in 3 months or less, so we can bring the final product to you.
I'm pretty interested when you mentioned pushing people to build, and congratulations on occupancy rate. But what we have here is a lot of people who own lands and are not building. And I know times maybe are valid they can't build, but I would like you to push them to maintain these lands. These lands are almost forest-like, and can breed reptiles, dangerous reptiles and mosquitoes. And very much important, and if you can take us back to your colleague ministry, these lands that have high trees are a cover for crime, which is, I'm quite sure somebody's going to shout it here this afternoon. There's a rampant crime rate, in especially people who come in to steal for people hard to work in this community. And I think the lands that are not being kept are a cover for criminal activities. I would encourage that you push people who own these lands. If they can't build, maintain their lands. Bring the bushes down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And because it angers me a lot. It angers me a lot that these people, you know what? Some of them sit on the land for speculative purposes. They sit on it, and as soon as they get a good price, they try to sell it illegally. We have hundreds of these cases that we have already earmarked for repossession that we took to the court. And when it gets there, we don't have any control. We have to go to the court to have the repossession completed. But I want to tell you that it's an active part of our policy. And very important that you raise the cleaning of the land. Because I'm going to make a decision now. We spoke about this last year morning, where we're going to buy maybe, and the engineer is supposed to get a quotation, we should buy a bobcat for the ministry. And we should clean these lands and surcharge the owner of the land. And I think this is the direction we're going to go into. We may even, to start out the process, we may even look at having residents in the area being given the contract to clear it, and then we surcharge the owner of these lands. We're going to announce it as a policy that those persons who don't build and they're not keeping their land clear, we're going to go ahead and clear it, but we're going to surcharge them. We're going to charge them the cost, the market cost, and at even a higher rate for clearing the land. That is what we're going to do. Because unless people feel the penalty, unless they feel a penalty associated with things, they don't have any value. They don't have any value. And that is a culture we have to change in the country. Sometimes things come to, I don't want to say easily, but you know, like you make the sacrifice to come out here. and to listen and to be part of this initiative that will benefit the entire community. And then you'll have one person in the street who wasn't here, wasn't part of the process, but decided he's going to buy a big truck and he's going to drive on the edge of the street, drive on the shoulder, and park the truck on the shoulder. No care, no concern about anyone else. And everybody must sit down and accept that. Well, the time has come and we must together don't accept it. When together we must say to them, this is not acceptable. When these roads are completed, my friend raised the issue of quality. But you know what you find a lot of times? People mixing cement at the middle of the road. Dumping the sand and mixing the cement. Who is it that loses? The entire community. So I want us now to address these issues in a unified manner. Not when one neighbor come out and tell him, you can't do this, the rest of y'all hiding inside your house and say, we want problems. We have to be united. If we want to ensure that we all benefit from the resource, we have to be united in the way we protect it. We have to be united in the way we protect it. And we have some of these people in our society who don't care anything. They don't care anything. They have no concern about infrastructure. They have no concern about community life, about community development. Alright? And we must guard against them. Yeah.
Requested information on the handover of the favor had addressed that. And a promise was made to have a partial handing over the scheme. Can you say what the status on that? Because that's been taken or some of the...
Yeah. That's a very important...
It is of lighting the area and garbage collection and so forth.
Alright, let me say this to you. Whilst there is not an official handover, nothing stops the NDC or the RDC from bringing benefit to the people. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we don't want to hand over any half-baked potato. We don't. And the majority of residents will tell you that they want to have a certain level of infrastructure before we hand over. Because guess what? If we hand over as it is, the NDC and RDC will always have a way out. Oh, housing handles over with this at this stage. So let us finish this infrastructure. Let us finish phase by phase, and I'm sure that we'll be handing over phase by phase. You see, it's not just like coming and hand over. There are a lot of legal requirements and so on that has to be taken into consideration. For example, the region was debating at one time how it's divided within two NDCs, how the community is divided within two NDCs, because a section of the community straddles two NDCs. So all of those are administrative mechanisms that really, have to be put in place. Even when we do infrastructure in this area, it is very, very tedious, because, for example, if we are doing a drain, sometimes the rice farmer would come and say, well, we need the water now. Because everything is interrelated. The layout of the land is interlocked and interrelated. So there are a number of other issues that you will not see physically, but pose a lot of challenge for us, even at handover stage. Alright, but I want to show you that we will hand over. And on the lighting issue, yesterday we were at Diamond, and one of the residents said that they have an arrangement with GPL, where 4 or 5 neighbors come together and they put a light up, and then each neighbor pays $500 or less every month for the energy cost to GPL. It works out to $500 or less dollars, and I think GPL is allowing this kind of arrangement now. So if you have a street, for example, a street coming together, and the community decide that you will pool resources every month and put the lights up, it will help you, it will improve your security. So we also want to see initiatives from the community, from the people themselves. On the main road, use some of the reserve to beautify the environment. When you go to North America, you see the streets well lined with nice trees, and so we can do it here. We can do it. And those are community-based activities, community-driven activities. So, like Diamond, in Diamond they have In Diamond, they have the same issue with cow and horses in Diamond. I want to show you that. But they have some very strong. I have good ears, you know. They have. I listen very carefully. They have very strong community groups, though, in Diamond. Very strong community groups, and in the strength of unity, lies the power to overcome any challenge. Remember this: in the strength of unity lies the power to overcome any challenge, and that is not from any philosopher. That is from Ministry of Housing and Water. That is what we are saying to you here today. That is our original statement. In the strength of unity lies the ability to overcome any challenge. All right? Yes.
I have embarked in a served on the development in the zone. And recently, a few months ago, we embarked on clearing the parking, starting from the bridge. But we had the support, so we utilized the support. But my question here is, if we need assistance in terms of equipment, can we address or support a request to the regional office?
Yeah.
So,
I want to say that from those who spoke today, I see that we have a very strong, very well-disciplined community. Because the same issues you raise, other community raise it, but in a different tone. So I must say that Parfait is changing the culture, the communication culture of community meetings. I'm enjoying this one.
Because it's Parfait.
Yes. So listen. So why we don't do this? Why we don't also get the contractors to do some of this before they leave? Do something for the community. So something for the community. The contractors can leave something without payment, of course, for the community. So the contractors have a social responsibility. They have a corporate responsibility. And let us hope that they use their presence here to leave an impact. But I'm still serious. Form a group and ask them to do something. But also, let a group go to the regional chairman. Maybe on Monday. Monday is good?
yeah, Monday.
On Monday. And discuss with him the plans you have. And to see how we can work together. Sometimes you can put the labor and they can put the cost of the material or the machine that you require. So let us use the opportunity also to tie him down to some commitment. Alright.
Could you please use the mic?
I want to assure you that I'm only the president of my community sports club.
You mentioned something with this pay package.
Yes.
I would like to urge you, before you have pay package, please have a meeting with the owners of these cows. For the past year that I was there, we had a meeting with these owners. And to me, I noticed it's getting out of hand. They are losing these animals from Lagan into the community. And it's unfair for them to have these cows coming and destroy our pipelines, our fence, and destroy. We are horses. So I need a meeting with these owners, and if they're not covered, then they can call an action.
I agree with you totally.